Story 1. The friend who does not feel the need to fill every silence with conversation. Sometimes we just sit together, each doing our own thing, and it is perfectly comfortable. Story 2. One that actually asks questions in response. Those whose eyes don't glaze over when you're talking to them, just waiting for their turn to speak. Story 3. I am a bisexual man. I typically find men I would absolutely date if they were interested, cute, funny, and with lots in common. Once I discover they are straight, I stick around as a loyal friend because it feels effortless. We play some games, catch a movie, or just talk over a beer. There are no secrets. They know I think they're attractive. Sometimes a guy just needs to hear that. Story 4. The person who is not heavily engaged with social media and is not constantly using their phone when spending time with you. Story 5. No bickering, no gossip. Recently reconnected with an old friend, and all they wanted to do was bicker about every little thing. I wondered, what's the point? Story 6. Someone who has both a silly and classy sense of humor, does not take themselves too seriously, is not too picky about what we do when we hang out, and is not afraid to dive into deep or personal conversation topics at times. I have a few friends like that, and it's awesome. Story 7. Many shared interests complement rather than duplicate my personality. It brings out the best in you and accepts your flaws. Story 8. One who enjoys long walks, leisurely lunches, and lazy afternoons in the sun. Someone who makes me laugh and has no agenda other than each other's company. I have 3, and I feel so fortunate to have friends of over 30 years. Story 9. Someone who is easygoing, funny, and open to new things and ideas, while also being considerate. Some people can be enjoyable to be around but may not be suitable as friends if they are unable or unwilling to communicate clearly or take responsibility for their actions when they make mistakes. Story 10. I really enjoy being with friends who are open to anything, whether it's deep conversations or just relaxing in silence. Someone genuine who doesn't take themselves too seriously and knows how to have fun without needing plans. Story 11. The person you can have serious conversations with without being judged, and who doesn't enjoy comedy. Story 12. While humor is a given, I enjoy being with friends who are visionaries and always strive to make the most of their time to achieve their dreams. Story 13. Friends are curious about everything and make you feel like the world is an exciting place to be. Story 14. The ones who accept me the way I am make me comfortable being silly, negative, or sad. It's easy to be around people when things are going well, but not so much when life is tough. Story 15. I appreciate friends with whom I can be comfortably quiet, where we don't feel the need to fill the silence with conversation. I tend to talk excessively when I am not at ease during moments of silence. Story 16. A friend who listens genuinely is refreshing. It is nice to have a friend who wants to hear my thoughts and doesn't redirect the conversation back to themselves. While we all relate through our personal stories, it is appreciated when people provide space to fully express all my thoughts before switching topics. Story 17. I enjoy being with someone I can truly be myself around. No pressure, just genuine vibes, meaningful conversations, lighthearted jokes, and mutual support. Story 18. Ride or die friends. I know without a doubt that if I called any of my close friends and said, I need you, please come over, they would be there as quickly as possible, even the ones who would have to hop on a plane. I would do the same for them without any hesitation. I may be 35 now, but girlhood is forever. Story 19. Someone I can talk to for hours on end, yet it feels like only a couple of minutes. That being said, friends who are comfortable with silence while we do our own things are also amazing. Story 20. I'm an introvert, and I appreciate friends who can talk a lot. My role is simply to listen. Story 21. I appreciate friends who make me feel good about myself, who care deeply about me, and who support my interests. I want friends who acknowledge me in the ways I prefer and who are intelligent, rational, and reasonable individuals, preferably those with interesting perspectives to share. I also value creative artists with whom I collaborate well. I enjoy spending time with people who love food, nature, and have a similar sense of style, as well as those who appreciate the same shows, movies, books, and video games. A sense of humor is important. Story 22. A friend is someone who doesn't just agree with everything for the sake of avoiding conflict. Disagreeing is not confrontational and is perfectly acceptable. Story 23. The considerate friend, the healthy friend, the quiet friend, the loving friend, the honest friend, the friend who always shows up, the friend I can talk to about my struggles, the good friend who doesn't ask for much but cares about spending time with me, the kind friend, the friend who will defend me even if I am wrong and still corrects me. This is the friend I will always cherish. They are hard to find, but this is who I enjoy being with. The good friend. Story 24. Someone who is laid back, open to any type of conversation, and non-judgmental. Additionally, they enjoy drinking beer. Story 25. It's really hard for me to say this right now, but almost no one understands. I have had two best friends since I was 6. I'm 25 now. They have changed like everyone else, and I don't feel like I can be myself with them anymore. We still talk about everything as always, but they criticize me more than ever, which they never did before. My first best friend, with whom I spend the most time, makes me feel like he wouldn't talk to me that much if we weren't smoking marijuana whenever we meet. He always asks if I'm going to bring my brother with me because he usually has marijuana with him. I think at this point he doesn't know how to have fun without it, and that's sad. Story 26. One who is always there when you are struggling mentally and financially over the long term, instead of slowly distancing themselves as if they have never struggled and as if I have not been there for them during those times. I have two friends like this, and I will love them until the end of my days. Story 27. One who understands how depression works battles with their mental health every day, trying to survive without taking it personally if they don't receive a call or message from me after I have expressed my struggles. I have been an introvert since birth. Story 28. My faithful companion. One that will stand by my side through the worst situations. I am referring to 2 4s on a good day. Story 29. As a young mother of 2, I truly appreciate friends who come over without worrying about the state of my house. They enjoy my company and the kids as a whole. I feel like I can be my authentic self around them. Story 30. It really depends. There are friends with whom you hang out at dinner or watch a game, and then there are friends with whom you can travel. For example, we have very good friends with whom we have dinner about once a week. They are always entertaining, but the guy is so hyper and such a chatterbox that there is no way we could ever go on vacation with them. Meanwhile, we have another couple with whom we've gone on vacations. They are kind of chill and funny. If my wife and I want to go off and do something on our own, or vice versa, it's totally cool. Story 31. A true friend is someone who doesn't mind not receiving a message for a while, or the one who can instantly start a conversation about sports. Story 32. As a reclusive introvert, I appreciate people who match my personality, but I also enjoy the company of an extrovert who compliments me without overshadowing or belittling me. Story 33. My wife and I are completely comfortable with each other in a way that can only be shared between partners. Story 34. One who enjoys friendly banter and can take it. They do not take life seriously and can always joke around, but when the situation calls for it, they can be serious and insightful towards themselves and their friends or family. Story 35. The friend who has no filter and speaks the truth. Fortunately, my friend is just like that. He has an unmatched sense of humor and is not afraid to express his opinions. Story 36. The only kind there is a real friend, through thick and thin until the end. A soulmate, your twin flame. That being said, I have only had maybe 2 to 3 at a time. Everyone else was an acquaintance or a frenemy. Story 37. I can be myself without fear of judgment. They listen and seem interested in what I have to say, and we laugh a lot. Story 38. They need to be positive, at least try to have their lives together. Not needy. Not afraid to ask for help, not negative or gossipy, love to laugh, willing to engage in activities, presentable in public, not take advantage of others, not afraid to be genuine, prefer a smaller but closer group, willing to stand up for what is right, unconcerned with outsiders' opinions, value quality, and enjoy evening walks. Story 39. I have a friend I see once a year. We meet for hours, catch up, and then we don't communicate again for months. It's always nice to reconnect with them. Story 40. I met a lady a few years ago, and our conversations always flowed naturally. Nothing felt forced. There were no awkward silences or meaningless small talk. She was always honest and upfront. She had good ideas, varied interests, and helpful opinions. It was fun and nice to talk to her. I really miss her. Story 41. Chill. You don't have to contact me with every thought. You don't hesitate to calm me down when my emotions get the better of me. You don't hesitate to support me when I am wronged. Just as importantly, you come to me when everything I mention happens to you. Story 42. The person with enough emotional intelligence understands that I want to talk about my feelings and also have a good time. It's frustrating when I'm asked how I've been, and I share my feelings, only to be met with, "That sounds tough. Are you going to join the lobby?" Story 43. I think I may have found a reliable friend. I have had other friends, but they always let me down and are never there for me. Story 44. I believe the mark of a true best friend is being comfortable in silence together. What I appreciate most about my best friend is that we enjoy doing things together and have great conversations, yet neither of us feels the need to fill the comfortable silence with chatter. She is simply an amazing person. Story 45. I remember I had a friend. I asked her for a pencil before an exam. She said she didn't have one, so I went around and asked for 2 pencils. One for myself and one for her. Then I gave her the pencil I got for her. I laughed and said, "Oh wait, I don't have an eraser either." She had an eraser, but only one. She used all her strength to break it into 2 pieces and gave me one. I was so stunned. That's when I realized that friends like that, who never take advantage of you and make sure you're not the only one giving, are the real ones. Story 46. My best friend Sarah is the type who shows up at my door with ice cream and fuzzy socks when I am having a rough day without me even telling her. She just knows. Story 47. People who aren't jealous of you and tear you down can be hurtful. I have made too many so-called friends who were envious and tried to bring me down, even when I was feeling good. However, people evolve, and your best friends may one day turn their backs on you. I am giving up on friends. Story 48. The goofball. I can be quite serious, and by myself I can seem boring. However, when I'm around someone who jokes a lot, that personality rubs off on me, and I find myself making jokes and goofing around as well, which makes me happy. Story 49. Friends are those you feel comfortable being silent around. I remember a group of really close friends with whom we would communicate regularly for hours. 90% of the time we were on mute, but if someone had something to say, they could just speak up and someone would respond. Could be 10 minutes of conversation followed by 2 hours of silence. It was just like having a sounding board whenever you wanted it. Story 50. I appreciate friends who understand that life can get busy and don't hold it against me. I prefer friends who aren't always trying to show off when we go out. I don't enjoy crowded places or locations with a dress code. I'm quite laid back. Let's get coffee, explore home goods stores, find great walking trails, or visit a bookstore. Let's discover unique places to have lunch or check out a museum. Essentially, I enjoy quiet activities that may not be Instagram-worthy. I simply want to enjoy each other's company. Story 51. The person I can talk to about deep topics or questions should share similar interests with me, have a sense of humor, and be understanding. There should be no judgment or backstabbing of anyone. Story 52. Someone who makes me laugh and shares my sense of humor. They are creative, witty, and funny. Most of my friends who meet these criteria are gay. Story 53. I appreciate those who do not expect me to talk constantly or always be active. I'm not a big talker, and I really enjoy just watching a movie together. As someone who is neurodiverse, I find it easier to connect with friends who are also neurodiverse. Story 54. The one with a mischievous streak. One who loves banter and roughhousing makes me laugh. I care a lot about affection. I want to feel comfortable expressing it, whether physical or emotional. Open communication is vital as well. Story 55. The kind of friends who feel like family. Some of my friends are in their 30s, and they keep telling me I'm like their little sister. I am excited about going to Comic-Con and Bucky's new movie. Story 56. The kind of friend that you can hang out with and stay silent, enjoying each other's presence. You don't need to talk a lot. Just being there is enough. Story 57. The kind of person who has experienced similar challenges and can still find humor in them, while also feeling a strong dislike for others. Story 58. I have a friend who has become very negative, so I have distanced myself from him. Story 59. I have so much to say about this. I love my friends because we don't need to see each other or even talk often to remain close. When we do see each other, it feels like no time has passed, and we catch up. They can be hilarious and goofy, but we also have serious, mentally stimulating discussions. They listen, and I enjoy listening to them. We can hang out and chill without worrying about awkward silences. All my friends make an effort to improve themselves and don't project their insecurities onto others. I recently ended a friendship with someone who did that. At this age, I don't need to walk on eggshells, not knowing what will set them off. I love my friends because we can be honest with each other, and they are all empathetic, good people. Story 60. Friends who are passionate about their interests, when they share what they find intriguing or what they are proud of, allow me to see them genuinely for who they are, unfiltered and truly being their best selves. You can feel their presence in the moment, and I genuinely love all the ways my friends are unique, interesting, and beautiful. Story 61. I truly enjoy spending time with a friend who is genuine, relaxed, and brings positive energy. Someone I can laugh with, have deep conversations with, and be completely myself around. It's a bonus if they are curious about the world, a bit playful, and are present when it matters. Story 62. A friend who enjoys the same music I do. I would love to go to concerts with someone I can connect with, as well as someone with whom I can have deep conversations. Every friend I've had has not been capable of discussing serious or even semi-serious topics. Story 63. Who will pick you up when you are down, encourage you when you are lagging, and call you out when you are acting poorly? Someone who can support you and take decisive action if the situation demands it. Story 64. My closest friend is an extrovert. As an introvert, I am drawn to his big personality. He is the reason I have become a people person and can work in customer service comfortably. Story 65. My friend Ricardo lives in another state on an island. I see him once a year. We attended high school together. Next month, we are going hiking and bouldering without any cell phones. Story 66. Clever ones. Much cleverer than I am. I can keep up with the banter and the playful exchanges, but I have two friends who make me laugh out loud with their wit. My partner thinks they are unpleasant and won't have them in the house, though. Story 67. The one that doesn't make it feel like a competition regarding appearance or income. Someone I can hang out with in my pajamas without any makeup on, just relaxing. Story 68. The kind of friendship where you can simply be together without any effort. I met my best friend 30 years ago on the bus in first grade. Although we have lived 500 miles apart for over 10 years, we can go weeks without texting or calling each other. When I am in town, we can do any activity without missing a beat. It feels totally normal, whether we are dropping a tree, going to the store, or sitting at the kitchen island. There is zero pressure. Story 69. I used to have some friends I would hang out with. We would do just about anything or be fine with doing nothing. I enjoyed the random 5 to 6 hour exploration hikes and fishing trips. Sometimes we would just dig or build things in the woods. Lately, it seems like the type of people who invite you to play a game at 2 a.m. when you have to get up for work at 5. Story 70. My best friend is the type who randomly texts me at 2 a.m. asking if I want to go get pancakes. No drama, no judgment, just pure spontaneous fun and genuine conversations. Story 71. They have to be childish. Have a good laugh. Don't take life too seriously. Trustworthy, talkative, and reliable. I think that's it. Story 72. I can be completely honest about how strange and crazy I feel, and others can share their experiences too, allowing us to laugh about it. Sometimes, I forget that the rest of the world is not always like this, and people can be surprised by my honesty. Story 73. The one who is present, not pretending, actively listens to you with thoughts and compassion, without judgment. Story 74. The ones who know I'm not comfortable with something or someone don't bring it up. The ones who don't make fun of me or my interests are important to me. Story 75. Extroverted, approachable, easy to converse with, humorous, and a little quirky. Not overly sensitive, recognizes and understands my sass and sarcasm for what it is. Story 76. I really enjoy being around my autistic neighbors because they are accepting of my quirks, and they don't bother me one bit. I am a man who appreciates being around strong combat veterans who are well-rounded individuals. I value not having to coddle people with my language and mannerisms, as I am autistic, and they seem to appreciate that they can communicate openly about war in a straightforward manner. Story 77. I appreciate having someone with whom I can have an easy conversation. I spend a lot of quiet time alone, so during my socializing time, I value engaging discussions. I dislike conversations that feel forced. I want to hear all about your life, even the ordinary details. Friends who willingly share information about their lives and keep me updated on what is happening, whether good or bad, are very energizing for me. Story 78. Someone with the same interests is important, as differing preferences may require one person to adapt to the other. Story 79. Independent individuals think for themselves and do not need to seek advice from many people on the same topic. Story 80. That one who truly wants to know how I am doing and knows how to make me laugh in the toughest moments. Story 81. Isaiah Houston is older than me, but he tends to be my shoulder to cry on, and he always supports me in everything I do. We call each other big brother and little sister, but it's just an endearing nickname. He already has a significant other, and I'm proud of him for staying faithful to her. Story 82. Someone with a good sense of humor is also incredibly loyal. I had a friend who would flirt with every person I dated. That was not cool. I was unaware for years until my husband pointed out her behavior, and everything started to make sense. Now, I have no friends, but maybe I was looking in the wrong places. Perhaps a church would be a better environment to make friends. Story 83. My friend Conrad has all my quirky traits. He expresses exactly what I am thinking without hesitation. He dislikes popular culture and enjoys nature. He is reserved around others, but he opens up to me, which makes our friendship special. Story 84. I like when there is a vaguely, almost ironically flirty, low level of attraction that neither of you would ever actually act on. It just adds an extra touch of spice to a friendship and makes your affection for them a bit warmer. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.